Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former prince and current river corpse, has been arrested and now may be banned from ever taking the throne. In fact, the royal family said the only way he can become king is if it comes down to either him or Meghan.
10 seconds, one quick joke, and suddenly millions of eyes were locked on the screen like something wild was about to happen. Colin Jost walked onto one of the biggest comedy stages in America, looked straight into the camera, and dropped a punchline that made the entire room freeze for a split second before chaos broke out in laughter. He said, "The only way Prince Andrew becomes king is if it comes down to him or Meghan."
Why aren't they pushing this nuclear button and just let the world know about Meghan Markle?
All they had to do was shut up and do nothing. And Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were probably going to get their best news cycle in years, because we know deep down they want to bring down the British royal family.
Just here it comes.
Reopen British markets for American companies.
For a moment, the crowd didn't know what to do. First came a loud groan, the kind that rolls across the room like a wave. Then people started laughing, and then they laughed even harder, like the joke had cracked some invisible code everyone secretly understood. Even Colin Jost struggled to keep a straight face as the crowd kept reacting. And just like that, live on national television, Meghan Markle's carefully polished public image took a hit in real time. But here's the twist almost nobody is talking about. This moment didn't just appear out of nowhere. It wasn't some random jab tossed into the show for cheap laughs. Something bigger had been building behind the scenes for weeks. Because not long before that moment, on the very same show, with the same host standing on that same stage, Colin Jost had already hinted at another explosive joke that caught viewers off guard. The setup sounded serious at first. He mentioned a new international trade deal that had everyone talking, the kind of headline that fills news feeds for days. Then he dropped the punchline. He said, "Great news for both sides. Britain's only demand, America keeps Meghan Markle."
All that Britain demands in return.
Andrew's confiding to friends about the not-so-secret relationship with him and Meghan Markle, and this is why Prince Harry wants to end the marriage, and is so disgusted he can barely touch his woman.
Since you like that, here's another.
Build electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
Boom! The audience erupted instantly. The laughter was loud, fast, and almost automatic. The crowd already knew exactly what the joke meant before the words even finished leaving his mouth. And that reaction says a lot, because jokes like that don't land unless the audience already feels the vibe. You can't throw lines like that onto live television unless the writers, producers, and the viewers watching at home are all picking up the same shift in the cultural mood. And clearly, they were feeling it. Two separate jokes, two different nights, both of them hitting perfectly, both clips spreading across the internet within hours like wildfire. And that's where things start to get interesting, because this is the same show that, for years, leaned heavily toward portraying Meghan and Prince Harry as misunderstood figures caught in a harsh royal system and a relentless press cycle.
Harry and Meghan are back at it again, being disaster tourists, because apparently they have nothing better.
That narrative dominated the conversation for a long time, but suddenly, something changed. Now Meghan wasn't being framed as the victim of the joke. She was the joke, not once, but twice. And on a stage where every line is carefully planned and reviewed before it ever reaches the audience. That kind of shift rarely happens by accident. The team behind the show knows exactly how public perception works. They watch the mood, they read the room, and they understand when the audience is ready to laugh at something that once felt untouchable.
To do then waste government time and resources, in this case for the country of Jordan and the WHO and UN's time.
Health Organization, the government of Jordan, and others are making here is enormously appreciated. So thank you for coming. Why is a British ambassador welcoming them on a visit when Meghan Markle has trashed everything, and Harry, about the British?
And when a show like Saturday Night Live decides it's open season for a punchline, that spotlight becomes impossible to ignore. No public relations team, no carefully worded statement, and no polished interview can fully control what happens once millions of viewers start repeating the joke. So the real question suddenly becomes obvious. Why has the tone shifted so quickly and so dramatically? Because what's happening isn't just one moment, one comedian, or one sketch. The pressure around the story has been building from several directions at the same time, and the cracks are starting to show everywhere. Today, we're going to break down every piece of that puzzle and look at why this moment exploded the way it did. But first, let's talk about the joke itself.
Royal family said the only way he can become king is if it comes down to either him or Meghan.
Oh my God, there's so many things to unpack in that joke. First of all, the groans are brutal.
Down to either him or Meghan.
Prince Andrew isn't just any royal name tossed into a punchline. His public reputation took one of the biggest hits in modern royal history after an infamous television interview that quickly became one of the most talked about disasters ever broadcast. The fallout was massive. His role inside the royal family changed dramatically, and the situation dominated headlines around the world for months. So when SNL told millions of viewers that the royal family would rather see him on the throne than Meghan, the joke carried a sharp edge.
It's like they don't want to laugh, but they do, because then listen, they laugh. They're not that bad, sorry, but they know that was brutal.
It wasn't praise for Andrew, not even close. It was a blunt way of showing just how dramatically public perception around Meghan has shifted in certain circles. And the audience understood that instantly. That first groan before the laughter, that sound meant recognition. A room full of people realizing exactly what the joke implied before they even processed it fully. It was funny, a little shocking, and slightly uncomfortable all at the same time. But here's the real twist. The connection between Meghan and Prince Andrew isn't just interesting because of...
Because again, it's like the only way he'll be king royal is if it's him or Meghan. They still would say no to Meghan.
The surface drama everyone already knows. Their story actually runs deeper than most people realize, and for some reason, major media outlets have shown almost zero interest in digging into what really happened behind the scenes. And once you start pulling at that thread, things get a lot more complicated than a late-night punchline before the royal title. Before the global speeches, the glossy interviews, the Netflix cameras, and the carefully crafted image of a modern Duchess. Long before all of that, there was simply Rachel Meghan Markle, an actress trying to climb the Hollywood ladder, a lifestyle blogger sharing polished posts online, and a social networker moving through rooms filled with people far more powerful than her level of fame at the time. Right now, the internet has started digging deep into that earlier chapter of her life again.
Announced a new trade deal with the UK. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No, I refuse.
Not the version presented in documentaries or public appearances, but the one many people feel quietly disappeared once the royal relationship began. The version her public team spent years smoothing over and reshaping. Rumors about her life before Prince Harry are spreading again online, bringing attention back to stories from before the royal family, before the carefully managed public identity. One of the biggest claims circulating right now centers on stories that Meghan allegedly spent time on luxury yachts owned by extremely wealthy and influential figures. These were not ordinary gatherings, according to people discussing the topic online.
There's always a serious side to the SNL comedy. I don't usually agree with it because it's very left-wing. But effectively what they're saying here is that, yep, we agree, Meghan Markle, less popular than Andrew Mountbatten Windsor.
Some claim she may have attended these events as a social guest within exclusive circles that most people never even see. The internet has given this situation a specific label, often calling it the world of yacht companions. That phrase has been floating around forums and discussion threads for years. However, it's important to note that none of these claims have ever been confirmed publicly, and no official proof has surfaced showing that Meghan was involved.
Savage comparison to Prince Andrew. This was on the Weekend Update section with Colin Jost, who has mocked Meghan before. Like, I gotta say, I think this one's the biggest roast yet. You ready for it? Here we go.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former
in that kind of arrangement. Still, people who claim to have been familiar with certain elite social scenes say questions have existed for a long time. And here's the detail that keeps pulling attention back to the story. In past legal cases involving powerful figures and private gatherings, some documents mention well-known social circles connected to wealthy business leaders and celebrities. Online commentators have speculated about whether Meghan may have crossed paths with individuals from those circles during her early career years. That speculation alone has been enough to keep the discussion alive.
prince and current river corpse.
Look at that. I gotta pause also for commentary purposes. That photo, my God, how did that get out? Oh, he looks, I mean, good. I'm not, but my God, he does look like a river corpse.
For many observers, the question that keeps popping up is simple. If someone later built their public image around humanitarian work and global advocacy, why do rumors keep pointing back to exclusive and secretive elite gatherings from earlier years? No clear explanation has ever been publicly given, which leaves space for endless online debate. Then there's her old blog.
SNL skit, though, is just this weekend update is hysterical because it's so true. And this is what works about comedy is when it's true. And we all know that, yes, people would maybe prefer in some ways Andrew over Meghan Markle when it comes to the throne. And if Hollywood is even making jabs at her, you know she's offended a lot of people. We know she hasn't done good work in the entertainment industry. And people are taking notice. People are noticing, hey, that yeah, Meghan Markle may have this title, but nobody really likes her. Nobody buys her stuff. And so we have this situation here where it's just so rife and so
The Tig. At the time, it looked like a stylish lifestyle blog filled with travel notes, inspiration, and stories about glamorous experiences. She wrote about mysterious invitations, private parties, and events hosted by influential people. The posts often described those moments in dreamy language that made the lifestyle sound exciting and aspirational. Back then, readers saw it as playful and motivational. Now, years later, some people are revisiting those same posts with a completely different perspective.
Virginia Roberts wanted to call Meghan Markle as a witness, and she said it was exactly because Meghan Markle was a close past associate of Prince Andrew and would have seen or participated or been around whatever he was doing. Why isn't the press calling this out?
Suddenly, every story about a private dinner, every mention of a powerful host, and every photo from an exclusive gathering is being analyzed in detail online. Another detail that often gets mentioned involves a vision board she reportedly created years ago. According to someone connected to her first marriage, Prince Harry's photo was supposedly on that board long before the two ever met. If that story is accurate, critics argue it suggests the royal relationship might not have.
No, I mean, she used to be on Deal or No
infiltrated?
Deal. Look, she was on Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my...
Been as accidental as it once appeared. In that interpretation, every step in her rise looks strategic. Every connection, every invitation, every handshake with someone influential suddenly looks like part of a much larger plan. And now, as these conversations swirl across social media again, people are watching closely to see how she responds. So far, there has been complete silence. No public statement, no detailed denial, no lengthy explanation post about setting the record straight. That quiet has caught attention because Meghan has taken legal action in the past when stories threatened her reputation. She once sued a major British newspaper over the publication of a private letter showing she was willing to fight back when necessary. This time, though, there hasn't been a similar reaction.
Planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry.
Montecito, they are billionaires, they're superstars, and they don't like publicity. They live in Montecito to avoid photographers, and they believe that Harry and Meghan, with their pretty obvious courting pursuit of publicity, are spoiling the privacy of
No immediate legal challenge and no public response so far. For some observers, that silence looks strategic rather than accidental. It suggests a team behind the scenes carefully evaluating which rumors deserve a response and which ones might fade on their own. And then there's one more detail that keeps resurfacing whenever this topic trends online. Old photographs, images showing a younger Meghan Markle appearing at events where Prince Andrew was also present.
Part of many scandals, yet the palace is interceding on her behalf. So are we under any doubt that this is any different? Because why are they getting that? Harry and Meghan Markle would not be able to spot kindness or charity, even if it's slapped.
These pictures are not recent. They date back to years before Prince Harry entered the story, during the time when Meghan was still working to expand her acting career and build connections within high-profile social circles. Now, those photos are being shared again across the internet, and people are trying to piece together the timeline. Every event, every introduction, every connection is being examined closely as online investigators try to map out how those elite circles overlapped.
Andrew's confiding to friends about the not so secret relationship with him and Meghan Markle, and this is why Prince Harry wants to end the marriage and is so disgusted he can barely touch his woman.
Since you like that, here's another.
Whether those connections were casual, professional, or something more complex remains a matter of debate. But one thing is clear, the moment those photos resurfaced, the conversation around Meghan's early social world exploded all over again. And the deeper people dig, the more Meghan Markle's early rise starts to look less like luck and more like a carefully planned climb. Every old photo, every past connection, every event from those early years is now being examined with intense attention online.
Why is the press and the palace refusing to look or comment or report on Meghan Markle's links to the same individual? And most importantly, her relationship, her close personal relationship with Prince Andrew.
Critics say the pattern looks like a masterclass in strategy and ambition, where every introduction and opportunity pushed her one step closer to bigger circles and bigger influence. For years, Meghan has said she did not personally know Prince Andrew, yet the photographs from past social events still exist, showing them appearing in the same elite spaces during the time she was building her acting career. Those images have resurfaced again online, and they keep fueling questions that never fully went away. Meanwhile, people who claim to be familiar with Andrew's circle say he has been quietly watching all the recent headlines unfold with what they describe as serious amusement. Think about the irony for a moment. Prince Andrew lost nearly everything connected to his royal role.
They're very unlikable, and the reason is because they're so fake and disingenuous and aren't honest. Why were they in the Middle East doing this trip to Jordan? Now, again, we've touched upon it. I've said it over and over again, but I think it's important as even now Page 6 is coming out with more proof.
His titles disappeared, his official duties ended, and his public presence inside the monarchy was drastically reduced. For years, the global press examined every detail of his controversies and mistakes. His reputation took massive damage, and his life shifted into what many commentators describe as a kind of public exile.
They've shuttered the foundation, pretty much. Their whole charity organization is pretty much over. This latest quasi-royal trip is being questioned after Page 6 revealed that the couple has essentially shuttered their Archewell Foundation and let go nearly of all their staffers.
Yet now, according to some insiders, he's sitting back watching the current storm around Meghan with a certain level of satisfaction. Not because it restores his reputation, but because he may understand parts of the story the public has never fully seen. And strangely enough, the same media that once examined every move Andrew made has shown almost no curiosity about what connection may or may not have existed between him and Meghan during those early social years.
Yeah, they have two staffers. Again, it sounds like on consultant basis, they're out of cash. This is all smoke and mirrors. They've been forced to downsize the staff as was costing them too much. And so, yeah, there it is.
That silence has made online investigators even more curious. Then came the moment that pushed the conversation into an entirely different direction. Saturday Night Live aired a joke suggesting that the royal family would rather see Prince Andrew become king than Meghan. The punchline landed hard because the audience immediately understood the implication.
I think your sister, Meghan Markle, has ruined Prince Harry.
The answer is yes. I mean, every single interview, every single picture, every place they go, Meghan grabs him. Meghan controls him. Meghan tells him no. Meghan stands in front of him. She controls every single situation like she is.
It wasn't praise for Andrew. It was a brutal way of measuring how sharply public perception around Meghan has shifted in certain spaces. And while those jokes spread across the internet, something else was happening thousands of miles away. Harry and Meghan appeared in Jordan for what was described as a humanitarian visit connected to global health efforts. The photographs from that trip looked polished and professional, smiling faces, carefully framed shots, and headlines about advocacy work-filled news feeds. But critics online started pointing to something behind the images that most viewers never noticed.
You feel like royalty. because Harry and Meghan have to constantly keep feeling like they're royalty because they're grifters. They're faking it. There was nothing royal about this tour. You can stay in the same suite as William and Catherine, but it doesn't make the visit royal.
The Archewell Foundation, once introduced as a major philanthropic platform, has reportedly struggled to maintain consistent projects and staffing. Several early initiatives faded quietly, and the organization's overall impact has been debated by observers who track nonprofit activity. Because of that, some critics argue that what remains today is largely the visual side of public appearances. Cameras, carefully staged visits, well-lit photographs that travel across media outlets within hours. One moment from that Jordan visit quickly caught attention online. During part of the event, a senior Jordanian princess was speaking to attendees.
Why are these two going? How much does it cost for these two to go? And why do they keep allowing this to happen? I don't get it. Now, as you'll remember, they did, similar visits to Nigeria, Colombia. They love these faux royal tours to go out there to make it seem like they're, royals, when we all know they're not.
As she addressed the room, Meghan appeared focused on where the cameras were positioned, subtly adjusting her posture and angle while photographers captured the moment. Critics seized on the clip immediately, claiming it showed a focus on presentation rather than the speech itself. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, the image spread fast and became another piece of the growing debate around how the couple manages public appearances. Another detail from the trip sparked even stronger reactions. At one point, Meghan posed beside a 14-year-old burn survivor during a public moment meant to highlight medical recovery efforts. The photographs were emotional and powerful, but some commentators quickly compared the imagery to iconic moments once associated with Princess Diana, especially her well-known visits with patients and humanitarian causes. Supporters viewed the moment as compassionate outreach. Critics argued the visual parallels felt carefully planned. Either way, the images immediately became part of the wider discussion. At the same time, another personal issue continues to follow Meghan in the background. Her father has faced serious health challenges in recent years, including multiple strokes and major medical complications. He has publicly expressed a desire to reconnect with his daughter, often saying he hopes for a simple conversation. That situation has created a painful contrast in the public conversation. Some observers question why reconciliation has not happened, while others argue that family conflicts are deeply personal and far more complicated than outsiders realize. But for audiences watching from the outside, the emotional difference between those two stories is impossible to ignore, and standing right in the middle of all of this is Prince Harry. More and more commentators say he appears like someone slowly realizing the full weight of the decisions he made over the past several years. He stepped away from royal duties, left the country where he grew up, and distanced himself from the institution that shaped most of his life. His military career ended, his daily royal responsibilities disappeared, and his connection to the traditional structure of the monarchy changed completely. Reports over the years suggested that people close to him raised concerns before the wedding. His brother William reportedly urged caution. Some longtime friends quietly stepped away as tensions grew. Even Meghan's own relatives made public statements questioning the situation at the time. One by one, those voices faded from Harry's inner circle. For viewers who have followed the story year after year, the situation now feels bigger than a simple celebrity narrative. It has become a complicated drama about loyalty, identity, family pressure, and the enormous influence that comes with global fame. And for many people watching from the outside, the emotion they feel toward Harry today isn't just anger or criticism. It's something far more complicated than that. For a lot of people watching this whole story unfold, the feeling isn't just frustration with Harry anymore. It's something heavier than that. It's genuine disappointment, even grief. Many believe he was warned repeatedly before everything changed. Friends reportedly raised concerns, family members tried to slow things down, yet every warning was brushed aside, and now the consequences of those decisions are playing out on the world stage in ways few expected. That leads directly to the question many royal watchers keep asking. How long will King Charles continue avoiding the issue everyone keeps circling around? The titles Duke and Duchess of Sussex are still active. They still carry the weight of royal status, and that status gives every public appearance, every deal, and every project a level of legitimacy that ordinary celebrities simply don't have. Those titles function like a powerful brand engine behind the entire operation, and critics argue that if those titles disappeared tomorrow, the entire structure built around them would change overnight. Streaming deals would suddenly look different. International appearances would lose their royal framing. The humanitarian narrative narrative that surrounds many of their public visits would no longer carry the same institutional weight. Without the royal connection, the platform becomes something else entirely. That's why the argument for removing the titles has grown louder in recent months. The debate intensified after Harry and Meghan appeared in the Middle East on what some commentators described as a quasi-diplomatic style visit. The trip did not appear to be formally coordinated through the British government or the royal household, yet the couple were still widely introduced using their royal titles during public engagements. For critics, that situation raised serious concerns, because when members of a royal family travel internationally while still using official titles, their words and actions can easily be interpreted as representing the monarchy itself. During the trip, Prince Harry made comments about the Gaza conflict that quickly sparked international reactions. Officials in Israel responded publicly, saying some of the claims he referenced were not accurate. One senior Israeli representative even addressed the issue directly, urging him to examine the facts surrounding the conflict. That moment created an unusual situation. A British royal figure was effectively being challenged by a foreign government during a trip that was not formally connected to the monarchy. To critics, that scenario highlights why the title question has become such a sensitive issue. Because as long as those titles remain attached, any controversy surrounding the couple can spill back onto the institution itself. And that's why the debate keeps returning to the same demand. If the monarchy wants to separate itself completely from these controversies, some observers say the solution is simple: remove the titles, remove them from the official royal website, clarify the line of succession, and make the separation unmistakable. Until that happens, every new headline continues to blur the line between private celebrity activity and royal representation, and each week that passes keeps the connection alive. But strangely enough, the moment that may have symbolized the shift most clearly didn't come from a government decision or a palace announcement. It came from a late-night comedy stage in New York. That Saturday Night Live joke landed harder than many people expected, not because comedy shapes world politics, but because of what the audience reaction revealed. When a show known for supporting Harry and Meghan in the past suddenly places Meghan in a punchline next to Prince Andrew, and the crowd bursts into laughter, it signals something important about the public mood. It suggests the cultural tone has changed. For years, many commentators hesitated to criticize the couple openly. Friends stayed quiet. Social media users held back. Even some analysts avoided strong opinions because the topic felt too polarizing. But once a major entertainment platform makes that kind of joke and the audience embraces it, something shifts. Suddenly, people feel free to say what they had been thinking privately, and once that door opens, it rarely closes again. Now the conversation keeps expanding. Old rumors resurface. Past photographs are re-examined. Questions about foundations, family conflicts, and royal responsibilities continue to circulate across the internet. Somewhere in the background of all this, Prince Andrew reportedly watches the situation unfold from a distance. A figure once pushed completely out of public life, now appearing oddly connected to the punchline that restarted the entire debate. Meanwhile, the royal titles remain unchanged. The controversies keep building. The public conversation grows louder by the week, which leaves one final mystery hanging over the entire story. If Prince Andrew really is watching all of this with quiet satisfaction, what exactly does he know that the rest of the world doesn't? And how long will it take before the full story finally comes out?